Well, good evening everybody and welcome to Goodison Park. It's Premier League 2 action here this evening on a Saturday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Everton against Manchester City. Graham Stewart is alongside me in the commentary position on the lower gantry, thankfully, in the upper Bullen stand. And winter's here now, Diamond, good and proper.
I think it is. There's certainly a bit of bite and chill in the air, Darren, so we're all wrapped up, but looking forward to the game. Should be a good one.
Really looking forward to the game. The incentive is there for Everton. I'm sure I'll repeat myself many times during the evening, but if Everton draw tonight, and obviously we hope that Everton take 3 points, but a draw will be enough to take the young Toffees back to the top of the table. Brighton and Hove Albion leapfrogged 5 teams this afternoon. They beat Chelsea 3-2 this afternoon. Brighton started the day in 6th place. That win took them top. That's how tight, Diamond, the Premier League 2 table is. We've got one in front of us.
Yeah, just looking at it now, and it gives us a real opportunity to, as you say, to go back to the top of the table tonight. We only need a draw, but I'm sure David Unsworth will be leaving the message clear to the players that 3 points gives us a little bit of a cushion. So it's going to be a tough game because Manchester City, we know that the riches that they have at the football club, they've got players left, right and centre. You know, so there's some good individual talent in Manchester City's side, but as a team, we look pretty strong on paper.
Definitely. 8 of the Everton starters have appeared in the Everton first team. João Virginia in goal. Number 2, Mason Holgate. 3, Harry Charsley. 4, Benny Beningame. 5, Tyus Browning. 6 is Morgan Feeney. 7, Kieran Dowell. Number 8, what a night for James McCarthy. Number 9, Basala Sambu. 10, Dennis Adina. 11, Nathan Broadhead. Diamond, I suppose, quite apart from the fact that there's a game to be won and 3 points to be had, a lot of tonight is about James McCarthy.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, he's had a wretched time, hasn't he, over the last couple of years with injuries, and it's really sad to see because he's one of the good guys, James. Really, really nice lad, very personable, and hopefully he can get through probably 60 minutes, I would guess, that they'll probably be looking to play him today.
Is he nervous at the moment, Diamond?
I'm sure he is. He's bound to be. I mean, it was a freak injury that he got, but it was a horrendous broken leg for him, and of course you're going to be a little bit nervous. That first tackle in a competitive game is always something that you have probably got in the back of your mind, but James, being the player that he is, he won't shirk it, that's for sure.
Well, we were here, of course, last season when Seamus Coleman made his comeback for the Under-23s, and Seamus ploughed into a tackle on the far side there in front of the family enclosure, just to make sure to himself that he was back and he was ready to play. And Jamesy, I'm sure, will be the same tonight. Manchester City have got 2 20-year-olds, well, a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old, and 9 teenagers in their side this evening.
I mean, it's not just James McCarthy coming back as well, Darren. You've got Benny Beningame coming back as well. You know, Morgan Feeney was out for a very, very long time, so it's nice that Morgan's got a few games under his belt. He's the captain.
And the prognosis for Lewis Gibson is not as bad as we thought.
Oh, is that right? Well, that's excellent news.
Initially I was down at Boreham Wood for the Arsenal game, and initially we thought that Lewis's season would be over, but apparently that's not the case. It's not as bad as they thought.
Well, that's excellent
Still
news.
A nasty one, but it's certainly not a season-ending injury, which is terrific news because he's had wretched luck. We're about to get underway here at Goodison Park. As you can see, Manchester City are in their change strip of all black and attacking the park end in this first half. Philippe Sandler, he's the veteran of the side at the ripe old age of 21. This evening is Philippe Sandler. Good pressing by Everton. The City centre forward Nabil Touazi flicks it on, but Harry Charsley's there. Morgan Feeney feeds it down the left-hand side to Nathan Broadhead. Here's Harry Charsley. Benny Beningame to Dennis Adina. Safety first from Dennis, and rolls it back to Morgan Feeney, and it's an early touch for João Virginia, who has looked an extremely competent young goalkeeper, Graham, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of João, but he looks the part, that's for certain. Comfortable on the ball, he's just playing out from the back like most keepers do these days.
Long ball forward towards Broadhead again. Nice control by the young Welshman. Morgan Feeney, the Everton skipper, drills one forward and says to Nathan Broadhead, get after that. City are quick, Nathan Broadhead's quick. But Jeremy Frimpong and Philippe Sandler who snuff out the danger for the visitors. Morgan Feeney was never going to lose that second ball, was he? First touch for James McCarthy. Wasn't the best first touch by Morgan Feeney Diamond, but he wasn't going to lose the tackle, was he?
No, I think initially he was trying to chest it down to Harry Charsley, but he popped it down right in front of him and realised he needed to take responsibility. And as you say, Darren, one thing Morgan's never going to do is jump out of a tackle, and he won it very, very well.
Going to shake a challenge, is he? Here's
No.
Cameron Humphreys. He's played twice for the Manchester City first team as Cameron Humphreys, and that's a ball back pass. Basala Sambu chases it down, but Curtis Anderson, the 18-year-old goalkeeper, was alert to the danger. Everton are pressing well in these early stages.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm sure David Unsworth would have said to them in the dressing room, look, they take chances, Manchester City, probably more than any team in the Premier League, even Premier League 2. You know, they're more than happy to try and play out from the back, so let's press them and put them under pressure.
Kieran Dowell sells Mason Holgate a little bit short. No shortage of first-team experience, as I mentioned early on. Mason Holgate played for the first team. Harry Charsley played in Cyprus. Benny Beningham's played for the first team. So has Tyus Browning, Morgan Feeney, Kieran Dowell, James McCarthy, of course, and Nathan Broadhead got a run out in the Europa League as well. So it's a fairly experienced Everton side out there. Good football. Kieran Dowell, right-hand side, low cross. Basala Sambu. Will it break for Nathan Broadhead? No, it won't.
Oh, he's given a penalty.
Oh, the referee's given a penalty. The referee has given a penalty in the 3rd minute, and was that for a foul on Basala Sambu?
That's the only thing I can think of. I think Christmas has come early for us, to be honest with you, because I think the referee's probably the only person in Goodison Park who thought it was a penalty. I'd love to be able to see a replay. I'm not sure that we've got the opportunity
just to
tonight, Darren, but
just to reiterate to our listeners and viewers, we're on YouTube tonight. We are not afforded the benefit of replays unless one of our technical wizards alongside us can sort one out. But Basala Sambu can put Everton into a 3rd minute lead here at the Park End. Well
done, son.
He strikes it home. It's 1-0. Basala Sambu, his 6th goal of the season. I spoke to John Ebrell for the match programme last week, and he said Basala Sambu has a penalty-taking style all of his own, but he very rarely misses. Well, and that was an interesting run-up, wasn't it?
Well, if you've got a run-up like that, I suggest you don't miss too often. But Basala didn't. He buried it in the keeper's bottom left-hand corner, and we go 1-0 up. But I have to say, I think it's very fortunate that we were given the penalty, but we'll take it.
Great start for Everton. Everton 1, Manchester City 0, after 3 minutes from the penalty spot.
Just looking at the referee's name, Daz, Dan Middleton. He's straight on Everton's Christmas card list.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Dan.
Yeah, I was just getting a little chance to see this replay, actually. I'll tell you what, it's actually, if you see the replay, Basala goes to flick it with his right foot towards goal, and the centre-half does clean him out.
There you go.
And he's made no contact with the ball, so as much as it was a 50-50 challenge in some respects, if you're a centre-half and you're going to fly in like that, you've got to make some form of contact. He didn't. Perhaps the referee's got better eyes than most of us.
Dan Middleton gets the decision right, and there's some defending for Everton to do, and Tyus Browning does it more than competently and finds Kieran Dowell. A few of these Everton players are big moments in their Everton careers, Graham, aren't they? Your Kieran Dowells, your Tyus Brownings.
It's tough, you know. I feel for them, because competition for places is what you've got to have at a club like ours. But it obviously means that there's a lot of senior players that are missing out at this moment in time. And again, you look at somebody like Mason Holgate, who started the season playing in the first team. He hasn't played for a few weeks now, so he needs to get some football under his belt. Same for Kieran Dowell. He's had a few games in the first team, but you've got to keep fit, match fit. So it's tough. It really is tough, because the competition for places is really strong at the moment, especially with 3 wins on the spin. You know, the manager can pretty much pick the same sort of side based on the fact that we've been winning games of football.
And the 18s had a good win this morning, didn't they, Graham?
They did. I was down at a very, very cold Finch Farm. All I've done all day is be freezing cold. But they played really well. Showed plenty of character, because they went 1-0 down, got back to 1-1, and then they scored. You know, they broke away and scored straight from the kick-off, virtually, Derby. And then we dug in and got 2 goals before half-time to sit at 3-2. And then young Ellis Sims, I think he scored his 18th goal in 11 games.
Astonishing.
To just give it a little bit more comfort towards the end, and we won the game 4-2 in a top-of-the-table clash. So hopefully we can win this, and then the first team go to Old Trafford tomorrow, and it'll be a nice little hat-trick for us.
Perfect weekend.
Yeah.
We've had a few of those lately, with the 18s in sparkling form, the 23s in sparkling form, the first team in great form as well. Philippe Sandler for Manchester City. Gets it back again off Benjamin Gar. Plays it down the right-hand channel, but as quick as Jeremy Frimpong is, he was never going to get anywhere near that. João Virginia had all the time in the world to compose himself, pick the ball up. Everton 1, Manchester City 0. Flicks off the head of Claudio Gomez, volleyed forward by Sandler. Nabil Touazi was in an offside position, so couldn't make any attempt to play the ball. And Tyus Browning can bring it away. I like seeing senior players play for the 23s, Graham. It's good for the young players. I think it gives the staff a boost, and it's certainly good for the people behind us as well in the crowd to see the odd senior player.
Well, I saw Ramsey this morning at the 18s game, and he said that a few of the senior boys were playing, and it's good for him because it gives him a stronger pool of players to pick from. Good for the younger players, the likes of, you know, Nathan Broadhead and people like that, to just play with more experienced players, and they can pass on their knowledge to them because they are genuinely young lads and they've not got a huge amount of experience at this level. So to have somebody like a James McCarthy alongside him is great for him.
Just an overhead pass there from Morgan Feeney on this left-hand side. It's a throw-in for Manchester City, who are currently 7th in the Premier League 2 table. But if I tell you that there's 12 teams in the Premier League 2 table, and at the start of play today, 5 points separated, all bar the bottom 4. It's a very, very competitive league this year, the Under-23s. And as it stands at the moment, the Toffees are top of the tree. Well read, well intercepted by Mason Holgate, and he's got the momentum as well to take on Ogbeta on the far side and win a corner. Good play, Mason Holgate.
Yeah, well done. Just read the script there, didn't he? Read the pass was coming into the left-sided player, and he just jumped ahead of him, nicked the ball in front of him and drove forward. Tried to put a cross in and put it out. Got a corner for us.
That's the signal for Morgan Feeney to go forward, for Tyus Browning to go forward. Harry Charsley, who's playing left-back today, is also in there, and so is Mason Holgate. The back 4 are all in there. The lonely figure of Benny Beningame prowling the centre circle on his own.
Mopping up Benny. Kieran Dow's normally got good quality.
Great corner. Basala Sambu and Mason Holgate both went for it. Maybe got in each other's way.
I think they probably did, you know. I think if Basala had just left that to Mason, I think we could well have been 2-0 up, but it was a terrific ball whipped in at the near post by Kieran Dow. We know what a magical left foot he's got.
Certainly got that in his locker, hasn't he? 10 minutes gone so far, so good at Goodison Park. Everton leading Manchester City by a Basala Sambu 3rd minute penalty to 0. Anderson takes the goal kick. Harry Charsley wins it in the air, but the loose ball falls to Tuati. On this near side is Benjamin Gar. Slides it forward, then looks for the return. Benny Beningame tracks the run. Gar gets there first, and a good interception by James McCarthy. Kieran Dow brings it away. Here's Dennis Adinarin running forcefully at the Manchester City midfield. It's a terrific run by Dennis Adinarin. Infield to Kieran Dow. Couldn't get the ball out from under his feet, and that was a shame, Diamond.
Yeah, it was a shame. It was a powerful run from Dennis. Drove 40 yards forward with the ball, which is a great thing to be able to do as a midfield player. Looked nice and powerful and strong. Unfortunately, Kieran just got it stuck under his feet a little bit there.
Manchester City get themselves into a little spot of bother again, trying to play the ball out. Here's Beningame to Harry Charsley. James McCarthy just beaten to the ball by Taylor Richards. It's with Gar on this near side, but McCarthy comes back and gets a good challenge in, and it's a throw-in for Manchester City. Must be difficult being a young player at Manchester City, Graham, when they've got the potential to spend almost over 100 million on a couple of left backs.
I think that's pretty much what you find in the top 7 or 8 clubs in the Premier League, Darren. There was a young kid. You look at the lad Sancho, who's gone to Borussia Dortmund. He was as good as it gets in the Manchester City academy. By far, probably their most exciting talent, and they sold him.
Albert Montado did well there for Manchester City over on the far side of the road. The challenge of Tyus Browning. Basala Sambu touches it to Adinarin, and Adinarin is crudely blocked on the halfway line by Cameron Humphreys. Mr. Middleton decides that all it needs is a quiet word with the Manchester City defender, and it's a free kick for the Toffees.
He's looking powerful tonight, is Dennis Adinarin. Nice and strong, some of the runs from midfield. He gets the ball again here on the right-hand side.
It does really well, even to keep it in. Then he uses it nicely as well, gets it back off Kieran Dowell. And wins a throw-in. He's certainly up for it tonight, isn't he?
Well, I think they all are as well. I mean, good tactical stuff as well, which I'm sure John Eberl and David Unsworth and Franny Jessup have gone through with the players. They know that Manchester City want to play it out from the back. So a couple of minutes ago, I don't know if you remember it, Darren.
On this near side.
Yeah, they just, all David Unsworth basically said to them is just push right on. Don't let them come out, don't let them play out of it. It's foreign to them to have to kick it long.
Tyus Browning, too strong for Nabil Tuati. It'll be a throw-in for Manchester City on the left-hand side. Taylor Richards gives it away to James McCarthy. Here's Benny Beningame for the Toffees. The option is Harry Charsley on the halfway line. Beningame. Tyus Browning. Nice play from Everton, switching from left to right. Dennis Adinarin. Kieran Dowell curls it into the penalty area, headed away by Cameron Humphreys, but Mason Holgate goes in with the header, and Mr. Middleton says that's an illegal challenge and it'll be a free kick for Manchester City.
Yeah, a little bit harsh on Mason Holgate. I think he was fully committed to the challenge. Won it, in my opinion. But we're definitely in control of the game, playing some nice football. There's some good composed passing in the middle of the park, some good movement. And there's been some end product to it as well, which is vitally important. It's all well and good passing the ball about, but we've got to see a bit of end product.
Here's Sandler. Looks to switch the play, and that's a wonderful ball to pick out Rabbi Montado on the far side, but Mason Holgate once again stands strong and dispossesses the Manchester City winger. But that wasn't a bad ball from the full-back line, was it?
Very good ball, wasn't it? But well defended from Mason.
And well played from Everton as well. Salah Sambu to Adinarin. That time his run is blocked, but Mason Holgate's there to help him out. Tyus Browning gets the ball out from under his feet, does a little Cruyff turn and plays it back to João Virginia. That's not a bad ball either, to Harry Charsley.
I think he's been watching Jordan Pickford, I think. Oh.
Nearly.
Steady, Betty.
Yeah. Here he is again. Long ball forward from Tyus Browning. Sandler heads it away powerfully. Picked up by Benjamin Garr. Nice bit of footwork in the middle. There's Claudio Gomez for Manchester City. He wants his winger to make a run forward, and the winger wasn't in the mood to do so. And Manchester City have been forced back into their own half. Philippe Sandler. Into the penalty area, but Morgan Feeney does well just to shepherd it back to João Virginia. There is good a central defensive pairing in this division, I think, Morgan Feeney and Tyus Browning, Graham.
Well, certainly both of them experienced at this level of football. And good defending there from Morgan. He just avoided the run being made from the centre forward there, got his body in front of him.
Benny Beningame looks for Harry Charsley and finds Harry Charsley. Super ball, nice control as well by Harry Charsley. Plays it wide to Nathan Broadhead, just managed to keep himself onside despite the protestations of the Manchester City rear guard. Here's Feeney to Dennis Adinarin. Beningame. Harry Charsley again finds a little bit of space on this left-hand side. Well played, Benny Beningame. He's away from Taylor Richards, who's all over him, and easy decision for the referee. Free kick for Everton that's taken too quickly.
Yeah, good feet from young Benny there. A little bit of a shimmy. Sold the dummy to number 10 there. Earned himself a free kick.
Dennis Adinarin again. Broadhead. Good for the kids to play at Goodison, Graham, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you do that as well. When you're a young lad you know, it's great to play games, obviously, full stop. And Southport's not a tidy enough little ground to be playing at, but when you get the chance to play at Goodison, it's always a bonus.
Well, Morgan Feeney got himself out of jail there. It was misplaced pass forward that was intercepted, and thankfully Manchester City gave it back just as quickly. Sala Sambu trying to get the better of Cameron Humphreys, can't do so, and Humphreys guides it back to the goalkeeper, and they do take a chance, don't they?
Good tackle, Benny Beningame.
Beningame, well done. There's Benny Beningame again, in field to Sala Sambu, flattened by Philippe Sandler, and it's a free kick for Everton. So far, so good.
Nearly fall off your chair there.
I didn't realise there's actually one chair on top of another one here, which I didn't realise. Thought I was going to end up in the paddock.
I thought I was going to have to take over. So I was flying solo for a minute there, Des. But I've been impressed so far with young Basala Sambu. He's done well as a centre forward. What you crave for as a centre forward, you know, as a midfield player, for argument's sake, something to play the ball into, to get hold of it, to pin the centre half and give you the chance to run off them. And he's done very well. His work rate's been good. His desire's good. And he's not a bad penalty taker.
Kieran going for goal here.
Wouldn't surprise you, would it?
Well, it's in the locker. It's low, and it's a comfortable save for the goalkeeper. Didn't quite catch it plumb, did he?
No, didn't catch it plumb. And as you say, a nice, comfortable one for the goalkeeper. But when you've got a left foot like Kieran Dow, it's not out of the equation, is it?
Humphreys. And again. Forward to Matondo. There's Claudio Gomez. Well intercepted by Nathan Broadhead. It's a bit sloppy from Nathan Broadhead, and Benny Beningame gives away a free kick. And Dennis Adina then kicks the ball away, and he's rather fortunate that the referee didn't see that.
Yeah, he just turned his back. He kicked it away at just about the right time, but a bit of a silly thing to do, because it could have been a silly yellow card to pick up there.
Free kick for Manchester City. 19 minutes on the clock here at Goodison Park. Everton still leading by that Basala Sambu penalty, after he himself had been fouled in the 3rd minute of the game. Matondo. Interesting figure, Matondo. He's a Scouser, actually, technically, born in Liverpool, but raised in Cardiff and has played for Wales under-21s. Kieran Dow. Policed by Nato Beta. Dow does well, finds Benny Beningame. But Beningame's forward run is halted. Mason Holgate commits the foul. Play on, says the referee. Manchester City pouring forward. Taylor Richards, well defended by Tyus Browning.
Yeah, it's probably the most dangerous moment we've had in the game. You could argue that Manchester City should have done a little bit better with the possession that they had there. Player down, as you said, Daz.
Looks in a bad way. Rabbi Matondo, the Liverpool-born wide man.
I think Mason could be in trouble in Mason Holgate. It was a bit of a late tackle. Hopefully he's not going to get booked. I think the ref, he is going to book him.
The yellow card's been pulled out by Mr. Middleton, and Mason Holgate is the first player to go into the notebook this afternoon in the 21st minute of the game. There you go, the yellow card shown to Mason Holgate.
Drinks break going on, Daz. 20 minutes into the game. If somebody gets injured, they all run over for a drink these days, don't they? I'd be wanting a cup of coffee on a night like tonight.
A Bovril.
Yeah.
Nice warm Bovril.
A good old Bovril.
I might be sending you for the Bovrils at half time, by the way.
You'll have a long wait, Daz. I'm going nowhere. Checker Trade Trophy game, Daz, Tuesday night.
Oldham Athletic.
And then they've got a long trip to Brighton in what could be a top-of-the-table clash without jumping the gun, obviously. got to make sure we do the business tonight. But I was talking to Unzi about the little trip down to Brighton.
And then Brighton at Goodison Park for the first team the following day. We'll be showing that game live, by the way. Oldham Athletic against Everton in the Checker Trade Trophy. Everton have played one game so far in the group against Bradford City. Managed to draw at Valley Parade. It needed the stoppage time equaliser to take the contest to penalties. And Bradford City prevailed. But there's a chance for Basala Sambu. Good save by the goalkeeper. James McCarthy follows up, nods it forward. Sambu's in there again, scrapping away. Manchester City trying to get the ball out of danger. They can't do so, and eventually it's pumped away by Nat Ogbeta. But that was a golden opportunity.
Well,
to
it was a gilt-edged chance for Basala Sambu to get his second goal of the game, and just shows what we were talking about from minute one, the chances Manchester City took there. Look, I know the game's about coming out and playing from the back and having the confidence to use players and give the ball to players under pressure. But that was craziness, pure craziness. There's got to be a right time and a wrong time, and that was desperately wrong.
Harry Charsley's cross is just intercepted the long left leg of Philippe Sandler. Here come Everton again. Nathan Broadhead picks it up. Just manages to keep it in play, but gets himself in a wee bit of a tangle. And it's a throw in for Manchester City. Unzi will be pleased, will he?
I think he will. We were in control of the game. There's only been a couple of moments where Manchester City have caught us just on the break a little bit. But certainly Mason Holgate, Tyus Browning and Morgan Feeney have been very, very good at the back and swallowed any problems up, controlled it.
Good ball, Benny Beningame, but the first time layer from Kieran Dowell doesn't work, and Claudio Gomez can bring it away for Manchester City. Here's Ogbeta down that left-hand side, looking for Matondo, who thankfully recovered from what looked like a nasty knock. Mason Holgate can't get goal side, and it was an opportunity, more than an opportunity, for Nabil Tuati, and the 17-year-old from Spain has blazed it high into the Gladys Street. That was a chance. That
was a big chance for Tuasi. I think he'll be very disappointed with himself that he hasn't at least tested the goalkeeper. Nearly the commentator's curse. I said how comfortable we've been at the back. We nearly conceded a goal, but
they're going to have their moments.
Of course they are. I mean, they're a good side. There's some good young talent out there. So they're going to have chances, but in the main, we've controlled the game.
João Virginia clears his lines. Taylor Richards wins the first ball. Gomez wins the second. Benny Beningame feeds it forward to Broadhead. Dennis Adeniran looks for Broadhead again, but Frimpong was always the favourite to get there first. It's an unconvincing clearance again from the goalkeeper. City get a little bit lucky, but Benny Beningame is forceful in the tackle. Wins possession for Everton, slides it to Harry Charsley, who takes it in his stride, reaches the edge of the penalty area, and then rolls it back to Adeniran. Nice again. Nathan Broadhead. Benny Beningame. It's good stuff, isn't it, Greg?
Yeah, very good
Really good football. Here's Adeniran.
Turned back on himself there, Dennis.
Yeah.
Didn't need to. He could have driven towards the byline there.
James McCarthy lays it to Harry Charsley. Here's Beningame. Really good possession football from Everton. City chasing shadows at the moment.
20 consecutive passes, and it's been really good football, as you say. All I would say is we've got to have a bit of end product to show for it.
Mason Holgate with the cross, and it's headed away. Kieran Dowell. James McCarthy to Nathan Broadhead. Good turn by Broadhead, but just a heavy touch. Took it away from him and allowed Philippe Sandler to complete the clearance, but
yeah, there's a poor first touch there from Nathan Broadhead. If he gets his first touch right, he can either get a shot off or the reverse pass to Harry Charsley, who burst forward on the overlap. But some good stuff.
Pleasant on the eye, isn't it?
Yep.
Here comes Gomez. Taylor Richards to Humphreys. Kieran Dowell, good defensive work. That's what we like to see from the wide men. Benny Beningame to Nathan Broadhead. Good ball, nice take. Broadhead infield to Adeniran. Oh, nearly a good ball. Got that one well. I thought that was a free kick, to be honest. Dennis Adeniran, though, again, forceful running. Kieran Dowell, oh, it's from his distance, it's blocked, it reaches Nathan Broadhead. He's not afraid to shoot either, and it cannons, I think, off Basala Sambu. And Manchester City pick it up down by the corner flag. Was Benny Beningame a touch lucky not to be penalised then, Crane, do you think?
More than a touch. But the ball eventually found itself to Kieran Dowell. Here we go, problems. Yep. That's our recovery.
Benjamin Gart on the right-hand side. Morgan Feeney pulled away from his central defensive position to try and stop him in his tracks. It's a nice ball that reaches Frimpong. Frimpong inside the penalty area. Chances there for Manchester City. James McCarthy comes across to block the shot. Reaches the edge of the penalty area. One touch too many from Tom Delibashiru, and Everton can clear their lines.
Yeah, dangerous moments for us there. Eventually James McCarthy initially was the one there who just stayed patient and just held him up. And eventually we saw it clear. This is probably Manchester City's best spell of the game.
Frimpong. Gomez. Richards. The idea was right, but not on the same wavelength as the wide player. Holgate. Intercepted by Ogbita. Frimpong exchanges passes with Benjamin Gar. Frimpong then plays it back to Sandler. Humphreys. Breaks kindly for Ogbeta. He's inside the penalty area. Here's a chance, and it was narrowly wide.
Taylor Richards, left-footed, just past the goalkeeper's right-hand post. I said earlier, it's just about been Manchester City's best spell of the game, and it very nearly resulted in the equaliser. You just kind of feel like they're just about getting into the game again now, Des.
Finding their feet a little bit,
yeah,
aren't they?
Definitely. That's where we just got to dig in as a side and be compact. Maybe just for 5 minutes, just dig in and keep everybody nice and compact in the middle of the park and just see out the spell that Manchester City are having.
As we said, they will have their moments, won't they? They're bound to over the course of the 90 minutes. Half an hour gone, and it's been a good half hour. I've enjoyed this, Graham.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it as well. It's been very good. We've played some nice stuff as of City over the last 5 or 10 minutes. It's a good test.
Tyce Browning plays it all the way back to João Virginia. Left-footed, looking for Kieran Dowell. Headed away by Humphreys, picked up by James McCarthy. Here's Harry Charsley. Nathan Broadhead. Nice footwork, but just shows a little bit too much to Benjamin Gar. And that comes off Benjamin Gar and will be a throw-in for Everton on this near side. Benny Beningame, playing well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing very well. He's covering a lot of ground. Interceptions, tackles, doing what Benny does best.
None of the 23s are afraid to get the ball, are they, to receive the ball, even if they're not surrounded by acres of space.
I mean, that's the coaching these days, isn't it? I mean, we've been talking about it for years and years in English football. To say that we've got to adopt a way of playing where we're not afraid to receive the ball, even if we're being marked, and improve people's technique. And it's you look at the England side now, and there's no doubt that we've improved in that department. And some of these young players hopefully will push on and play for their countries as well. So,
talking of the England side, shocking news about Glenn Hoddle today.
yeah, it was, wasn't it?
We'll speak about that again shortly, because Manchester City are on a break, but it's
overrun it.
Play. Taylor Richards, under no pressure whatsoever, just pushed the ball too far. Goal kick, Everton. Yes, everybody at Everton Football Club, it goes without saying, wishes former Chelsea manager, of course, as well, Graham, Glenn Hoddle, all the best as he fights his illness.
Yeah, I had Glenn for a small period of time at at Chelsea before I moved to Everton. Unbelievably skillful player, you know, and he's one of my heroes growing up as a kid. You know, I always wanted to watch Glenn Hoddle in an England shirt. Brilliant player for Tottenham, you know, those golden days for Tottenham.
Yeah,
you know, you look back at the Ardelis and the Veers and the Hoddles and those famous cup finals and stuff like that, and we just keep our fingers crossed that Glenn makes a full recovery.
Kieran Dowell for Everton. That's a little look to see where Harry Charles is, but he's a little bit too far back to bring into the play. Kieran Dowell manages to retain the ball and just slip it to Benny Beningame. Now it's with Nathan Broadhead. Holgate back in field to Benny Beningame. Harry Charsley makes a little run on the blind side. Benny Beningame turns and gives it back to...
Yeah, he didn't spot the run, did he,
No.
Benny Beningame? I'm not sure if Harry Charsley being vocal enough as well. He's quite a quiet lad, Harry Charsley. But he picked up a great position there, he really did. But he's got to bark at Benny Beningame and demand the ball off him.
It's easy to spot the runs from the upper Bullens, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, that's true enough. Some great players up here, you know.
We haven't misplaced a pass yet, have we? We've spotted every run.
Yeah.
Here's Sandler for Manchester City. 1-0 for the Toffees, 33 minutes on the clock. Frimpong has to go all the way back to Curtis Anderson. Now it's with Humphreys.
Just notice there, Unzi's made a little bit of a tactical change. He's just put Kieran Dow out here on the left-hand side with Harry Charsley. Nathan Broadhead's gone over to the right-hand side. A little bit more experience on this left-hand side now for Harry Charsley to work with. You've got the two young lads at the start of the game in Nathan and Harry on this left-hand side, and perhaps he feels he just needs a bit of a helping hand as Harry Charsley.
Here's Cameron Humphreys for Manchester City. Sandler, seen a lot of the ball at the back, these Manchester City defenders. Or better, well tracked by Nathan Broadhead. Matondo, back to Humphreys again.
Well, what City have managed to do now is they've pushed us right back. Their ball retention is much better because of it. Whether they can break through us is another thing.
Gomez to Bashiru. Matondo will run at Mason Holgate, or we lose Mason Holgate for dead. Gets the cross into the penalty area, but it's smothered by João Virginia.
Well, he's not short of pace, is he, that
Not at all.
Matondo on the left-hand side? Really lively player. Pace to burn.
10 minutes to go. Nathangelo Marcello, Joe Hilton, Shane Lavery, Anthony Gordon and Kyle John are on the substitutes bench for David Unsworth's side this afternoon. David Unsworth table-topping under-23 sides at the moment. Here's Sandler. Humphreys. Bashiru.
Good tackle, Benny again.
Gets a foot in.
No, referee. Man, he's got that one wrong in my opinion. Benny Beningame clearly won the ball. Admittedly, the tackle's from behind, but he won the ball clearly from where I'm sat.
A little bit side on as well, wasn't it? Wasn't completely go through the back of him.
Don't get sucked into all that nonsense about you can't tackle from behind or from the side these days. It drives me insane, all that. If you win the ball cleanly, it doesn't matter where you win it from.
Here's Sandler to Humphreys. That's a fine ball. It's a great run as well by Ogbeta. Ogbeta reaches the penalty area. Chance for Manchester City. Well recovered, Mason Holgate, and he scoops it clear. Down goes Basala Sambu. A silly free kick for the Manchester City player to give away, but we'll take that.
Yeah, good play from Basala Sambu, because we've been right under the caution. This is by far, as I mentioned, City's best spell of the game. We've been pushed right back to the edge of our own box, and they're controlling the game. And certainly on that left-hand side, they've had plenty of joy.
As you say, on that left-hand side, they've got pace to burn.
Yeah, they have.
Better's a speed merchant. The boy Rabbi Matondo's no slouch either.
I don't think... what are we, about 8 minutes to half-time?
He'd settle for a goal lead.
Well, I think he'd settle for a goal lead at half-time, yeah, especially, you know, based on what we've seen over the last 5 or 10 minutes from this City side. Might not be such a bad thing to get the players in and go over 1 or 2 things tactically again.
Joe Virginia just acknowledges the fact that he's overhit that free kick straight into the arms of his opposite number, and Manchester City will come again. Just the one defeat for the Young Blues so far this season. That was against Derby County. I went to that game at Loughborough University, some set-up down there, by the way. Derby County had a couple of first-teamers in the side, and it really does make a difference, doesn't it, Graham, at this level? They had about 500 first-team appearances between them and had so much time on the ball. Yeah,
I mean, it's just the experience of it all. You know, we've got James in here, we've got Kieran Dow. As you say, Tyus Browning's had plenty of first-team experience. I mean, not just at Everton Football Club, out on loan as well.
Yep.
And it does make a big difference.
Joe Virginia, that's the second one he's got wrong in quick succession. I'm sure Alan Kelly, who's a vastly experienced goalkeeping coach, will be just have a little word in his ear during the break about his distribution. But it's been a thoroughly enjoyable first half here at Goodison Park. The Toffees have just got to see out the closing 6.5 minutes or so and preserve this single goal advantage. Basala Sambu from the penalty spot as early as the 3rd minute. And we've arguably had the better chance as well with the opportunity that fell to Basala.
Yeah, Basala, you know, he'd be disappointed he hasn't buried that chance.
Taylor Richards looking for Matondo again on the far side. It's a lovely ball, and Matondo wins a corner for Manchester City. They are incisive on the break, aren't they?
The referee can't make his mind up here. He doesn't know what to do.
He's given a corner. I think he was waiting for some advice from the linesman, but...
Well, the linesman's 40 yards away on the other side of the park, so he was never going to help him out, and the other linesman is patrolling the other half of the pitch, so he needed to make the decision himself.
Clear-cut corner, wasn't it?
It looked like it.
From here. Corner kick for Manchester City. Poor delivery, and Sandler nearly finds the upper tier of the Gladys Street. Paul Harsley is the Manchester City Under-23 coach, and you won't have been happy with that one. But we will.
Certainly will be.
Looking forward to tomorrow, Graham?
I am looking forward to it, yeah. I think it's, as I said last week, it's very rare that you go to Old Trafford above Manchester United, let's be honest about it. But the players have really taken on board what Marco Silva and his coaching staff have, the messages they want to get across. I think we're improving week by week. We're looking stronger. We've got competition for places. You know, confidence is high on the back of 3 wins. So they always let you play. Great pitch to play at as well. It's a big pitch, and Man United always let you play. So we've got to be nice and careful. We can't go gung-ho because they're still a top side, even though their results don't perhaps reflect that. We know that they can be dangerous. I mean, they were 2-1 up against Chelsea to the last minute, so it's going to be a tough game. It always is at Old Trafford, but I'm confident that the lads can get a positive result. I really am.
Manchester City just surrender possession on this near side. It really would cap a perfect weekend, wouldn't it, if the young boys can hold on to this victory after the 18s had another great win, yet another great win this morning. And all the first thing we've got to do is win at Old Trafford, and the weekend's complete. Feeney, but up and under to the halfway line, headed back by Sandler. James McCarthy goes up and wins. How long do you think Jamesy will play, Graham? About an hour?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, that's pretty much the norm You know, he's been out, you've got to remember, he's been out a real long time, and I'm sure he's had a couple of practice games behind closed doors down at Finch Farm. But it's different when you're playing a real competitive game of football, and there's no need to rush him.
No.
You know, it's a big injury. James knows that, and I think he'll just get some minutes under his belt.
Just put a crunching tackle in there, so...
You know, he's going to be rusty for a couple of games as well, so we've got to protect him.
You've been in that situation, Graham. You'll get a few little niggles and plenty of stiffness, I'm sure, after the first couple of games.
Rigor mortis is what I used to have.
I remember thinking that.
Yeah, like you said, good players from the stands, Daz, like you. No, it's difficult. If you're out for a significant period of time, it's tough to come back and get right and feel up to speed. Takes you half a dozen games or so, and
it was one of the moments of last season, wasn't it, when Seamus Coleman made his first team comeback, and we thought he'd probably get an hour. 93rd minute,
yeah,
he ran the
roaring down the right-hand side. I mean, it was a phenomenal performance. But that's what you also find as well. When your first game back, the adrenaline takes you through it.
Yep.
And it's normally the second and third game where you start to feel a little bit ropey, if you like. But then all of a sudden, your body just clicks into gear.
Well, it's just gone a little bit scrappy here at Goodison Park in the closing stages. But it has been an excellent first half of football.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly bossed the first 25 minutes of the game. A couple of really good chances, but in fairness to Manchester City, they have come back into it and they played some decent stuff. And as I mentioned, they pushed us back, and it's not been quite as comfortable for the back end of the first half.
Everton started the evening in third place. Manchester City in seventh, but just 2 points separating the sides in this very congested Premier League 2 table.
Good work, Tyus Brown in there.
As Basala Sambu won a throw in for Everton. The linesman didn't know, waited to the referee to make the decision, and it's gone Manchester City's way. Just over a minute plus added time. No more than a couple of minutes, I wouldn't have thought.
Just important we see this out now. Make sure the concentration levels are nice and high for this last 60 seconds or so.
Here's Philippe Sandler.
And we regroup at half-time and come out again ready to fresh and push on.
Cameron Humphreys will give it back to Philippe Sandler, the Dutchman who started off at the famed Ajax Academy. Sandler, the big number 3 at the back for Manchester City, played some Eredivisie games, the Dutch Premier League, for PEC Zwolle before joining Manchester City. Here's Anderson. All eyes will be on the fourth official in 15 seconds or so, just to see how long Everton have got to see out this first half. That'll be Unzi's message, won't it, Graham, that what you and I have been reiterating, Manchester City will have their moments, so don't panic when they do.
Yeah. As I say, like you know, once they get a period of sustained pressure, that's when we've really got to dig in and tuck your wide men in a little bit and just make sure we're nice and compact, which we've done. I mean, they've had 1 or 2 chances, but in the main, we've looked quite compact and well organised. And if you do that, and we get pushed back as the game progresses, and the more chances they have to take to get themselves back in the game, we've seen it on a regular basis in the Premier League. You hit them on the counter-attack, and it's basically the quality that you can show on the counter-attack to make the game a bit more comfortable for you if you score another couple of goals.
Sandler with a rather odd pass to Cameron Humphreys. And City in no rush to make the most of the additional 60 seconds that were added on by the fourth official, but that's a good ball by Sandler. He picks up Matondo on the far side, who was offside. Good line by Everton.
Drives me mad, that rule again. I say it every time. The left winger's run 40 yards to go and get the ball. He doesn't know whether he's offside or not. And then he touches it and the linesman puts him off. Says you're offside, so he's run 40 yards. It's madness. I just don't understand that rule.
They can't raise the flag until the player plays an active part, but he's running 40 yards. He's highly unlikely to be running 40 yards to jump over the ball and go speak to the ball boy, is he? The offside rule gets more complicated with each passing season. That's a good first half of football from Everton Under-23s. We lead by 1-0, and deservedly so, Diamond.
Yeah, just about shaded the half. As I say, we started off really, really well. We pushed Manchester City back. The work rate was good. The pressure was excellent. We got the penalty, dispatched very coolly by Basala Sambu.
And that distinctive style of his.
Yes, and perhaps he should have added to it with a second goal. Gilt-edged chance, but good save by the keeper. Other than that, Manchester City have huffed and puffed. They've had one or two close calls for us, but other than that, it's been a decent half of football, and we'll take the 1-0.
We'll have a short break for 15 minutes or so. But it's been a really good first half here at Goodison Park. Premier League 2 football on a Saturday night. We're live on YouTube at half-time. It's Everton 1, Manchester City 0.
I'll look at all over the cameras,
See you guys. I said I would always hug you. You guys ever met Andrea? No. Andrea's one of our little ones. Here does all the work in the background.
This is the weird stuff. It makes it exciting and engages people and makes them come back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of helps to really sort of give the stadium a brand and make it more than just
Brings it to life.
yeah.
Some memorabilia.
Yeah, a couple of those were our early Roma schemes. And this, they're not our 3D printer. Yeah, and, you know, we just do little quick studies in it. This is a design we did for a theater. You can see a little paper model in there.
Yeah, okay.
This was for Madison Square Garden, and the idea is that the theater's in this globe and it's lifted off. Crazy project. You would understand this as much as anything, running a club that's about community and all of that, that it's more than a business.
Come on board, consumer!
To be fair, I don't know a lot about the city, but
You will do after today, don't worry.
I would be impressed, I think, yeah.
What about the end?
In fact, never mind singing in your head, let's sing it out loud. Let's get this bus rocking. Luke says we've got to.
And look at Merlin, give him a wave.
Lad with the jacket, solid as well, so they love my Hi, how are you? Okay? Hi. We're not scared to we're not in the middle.
Okay, ready? Well, look at me. 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1.
All right, lad. Yeah.
Lads, have you got any favourite scouts? Gegging in, that's another one.
Gagging in. I don't know that one.
You don't have
Big smile. Yeah. That's the one.
You're looking at? Yeah. 43.
43, have we got 43?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, it's little James! Let's hear it for James, he's only 2 and he's gonna won the big prize! Hope you enjoyed our If You Know Our History tour. Thank you to everyone for coming along. We will depart the bus here. You'll get one last photograph as well.
Have you learned any Scouse lingo yet?
No.
I think it's about, I tell you what, we could be doing this with you as well. You said you don't know your Scouse accent. You can join in and play this game. Come over here, Graham. I think the easiest thing that you've got to learn, one of the best words, and you have to do it like this. Are you ready? Chicken.
Chicken.
Hey! Oh, what about you, Graham? Can you do that? Hey!
You were better than you.
What about proper demos?
Proper elbows. Maybe for winter, it's cold outside.
Everton top telling me he'd been to the game at the weekend, so that was wonderful. And then obviously seeing all of our memorabilia displayed on the wall and knowing that they come here even early hours in the morning to watch the football is fantastic.
So many people were so excited that she was coming, and immediately said yes, I'd love to be there. So it just really means a lot to us, as we continue to grow and to have that recognition and have that kind of shared support going back over the pond.
Cause we always know that there's gonna be a show when the Everton boys are there. Where's the
I'll look at all our other cameras, please.
Welcome back to Goodison Park for the second half. It looks like Manchester City have made a change. Diamond, we've seen Taylor Bellis warming up quite strenuously, and there he is in the middle of the Manchester City defence. And it looks like it's Philippe Sandler who has been withdrawn.
Well, you said he was the experienced man on City's side at the ripe old age of 21. Whether that's a tactical thing, an injury thing, we don't know, but Taylor Bellis takes his place. So we've got a Taylor Richards and a Taylor Bellis. It's got spells trouble for us, this day.
It spells trouble for you.
Yeah, he does. I'm never the best on names.
You're better than Snods.
Really? I'm still trying to get over calling Danny Rose Justin Rose at White Hart Lane one afternoon.
Everton will get the second half underway. Dennis Adina in. And the temperature has dropped a little bit more, Diamond, doesn't it? Up here on Merseyside.
It has. Sat here with a nice cup of coffee though, Daz, and it's not even touching the sides. And it's having no effect whatsoever either.
Well, it sounds nice. Come on, Everton. Let's see this game out. Another couple of goals. Set us up nicely for the big one tomorrow at Old Trafford. Benny Beningame instantly plays it forward towards Masala Sambu. Taylor Bellis involved straight away for Manchester City. Bashiru. It's Claudio Gomez for City. Matondo skips in field, runs into James McCarthy. There's Cameron Humphreys to Bellis. Centre forward Tuazi comes short for it, and Tyus Browning goes wherever Tuazi goes. Humphreys. Better, back to Humphreys again. Patient build up from Manchester City. Better. Matondo puts a bit of pace into things, skips across the middle of the park, then gives it straight to James McCarthy. And away goes Busala Sambu down this right-hand side. Tough first half for Busala, wasn't it? Because he every time he got the ball, he sort of had his back to goal.
Toughest job on the pitch,
centre forward.
to
run at the Manchester City defence.
No, it is, but it is a tough job, especially when you play up top there on your own. It can be a helpless case sometimes. As you mentioned, your back's to goal most of the time. But that's why you've got to keep working hard. That last 15-20 minutes is invariably where you get your chances to shine.
Awful free kick taken by Taylor Richards. But then Everton are also a little bit wasteful in possession. Dennis Adinrin scrapping to win it back. Fair old battle in the midfield area between him and Tom Deli Bashiru. And forward goes Benny Beningame. He gets his heels clipped by Jeremy Frimpong, and that will be a free kick for Everton.
Well, little Benny's been impressive tonight, as impressive as possibly any other man in a royal blue shirt tonight.
Yeah, terrific. I love watching Benny Beningame.
Yeah. You know, people just look at him and they just think he's a stopper. He sits just in front of the back four and breaks things up and interceptions. But just on that occasion there, it just shows he can drive forward. He can, run 20 or 30 yards with the ball.
Kieran Dow puts the free kick into the penalty area. It's headed into the air. And eventually Manchester City scramble it away and get it rather fortunate with the clearance. But James McCarthy is there for Everton. Calm as you like, everything under control, and steers it back to João Virginia.
Yeah, he done well there, Jamesy, because it's Matonda is rather quick, to say the least. So Jamesy had to be absolutely precise, and he was.
Better. Mason Holgate wasn't going to fall for the for the dummy and spin. It's a throw for Manchester City that Nat Ogbeta will take. Pure Manchester boy, born and raised in Salford, the Manchester City number 5. Been with Manchester City since he was 10 years of age. But the pathway at Manchester City from the academy to the first team is nowhere near as illuminated, as brightly as ours, Graham.
Oh, I mean, you know, you look at the players that have come through from the 18s to the 23s and then found their way into the first team squad, in and around it all. I think we're probably at least in the top 3 of bringing young products through into the first team and actually getting them there. And that's something that we pride ourselves on as a football club. That's what we want. As much as you want your stellar signings, and you know, fans love to see new signings coming into the football club, but they also like to see young talent coming through as well.
That statistic where we, and it's still going, we exceeded 1,000 consecutive games with an academy product in the matchday squad is something to be enormously proud of, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And, you know, you get to a point where you play so much under-23 football, you know, I look at it sometimes and I look at the Kieran Dowells and the Mason Holgates.
Well,
and
sorry, Graham, to break
no,
off.
go fire away.
He's won it on the side of the penalty area, slides it
Jumps.
through into the chat. Oh, it's cleared away. Salah Sambu couldn't get a shot away. Dennis Adin pulled it back. It was unfortunate. Morgan Feeney sorts the situation out.
Yeah, good play from Benny Beningame over on the left-hand side. Found Dennis Adin in on the left-hand side. He cut it back, but it was just behind Salah Sambu. And Manchester City got it to safety. Just going back to the point we were talking about there, though, Daz, it's you want to play your under-23 football and progress, but it gets to a point where you've got to really get out on loan, and you've got to go and experience playing against men, and men who are scrapping to pay their mortgage every week, and the bonus means the difference between a good month and a bad month, and it's a totally different kettle of fish down in the Championship or League One, wherever you go out and have that experience. So I think that's a vital learning curve. But we look at the under-18s then, and then when David Unsworth sends the under-23s out to get that vital experience, it might mean we're not quite as strong as a pool of players, but it gives the under-18 promising lads a chance to step up to the under-23. So it's like a revolving door of bringing the young talent through, and I'm sure Unzi in an ideal world would love to keep his top players, but the bigger picture is, and he knows the bigger picture is, to make sure that you give them every opportunity to break into our first team.
Here's Kieran Dowell for Everton. James McCarthy scrapping away. Nathan Broadhead as well comes out with the ball. Little step over from Broadhead. He's being forced away from goal though. Mason Holgate comes across to help out. Broadhead rolls it back to James McCarthy. Benny Beningame to Morgan Feeney. Wide it goes to Harry Charsley. Broadhead. Salah Sambu. Unlucky.
It's that final pass. There's some real good interplay before that. It was just that final ball, but here's your danger man.
Go, Matondo. He's quick. Benny Beningame chasing him down. Tice Bramble coming across to help as well. Matondo is past Beningame, rolls it to the edge of the penalty area. Taylor Richard goes for goal, lacks power. Comfortable save for the goalkeeper. Just on that point that you made about David Unsworth, the chairman's watching tonight, Graham. He always does, never misses a game for the 23s when we're showing him, and he's made the sort of point that you did, and I'm sure he won't mind me quoting him, will the chairman, that the fantastic spirit about Unzi's squad and the fact that he always allows his best players to go out on loan, still uncovers new players and builds them into really important members of his squad, and it's sort of similar to the point you're making.
Yeah, well,
it's a good point.
The thing is, what David Unsworth and John Ebrell know is what an Evertonian's being all about, and that's a vital ingredient, because you want to instill that in all your young players at the football club to make them realise what playing for Everton is all about and what a special club it is. And there's certain things that you've got to do, and there's certain things that you don't do if you want to play for Everton Football Club, and David knows that better than anybody. Danger time though.
Inside the penalty area, Mason Holgate's there, and it's whacked away by James McCarthy. Back it comes towards the Everton goal. Harry Charsley's there on the volley. Dennis Adina and shields the ball nicely and flicks it in field cleverly to Benny Beningame. On to Kieran Dowell. Nice first touch by Kieran Dowell. Takes it down that left-hand side, but Bashiru takes it off it. It is a terrific achievement, isn't it, from Unzi, when you consider, as the chairman says, that he's got his best players are out on loan, but he still molds these players, and they're still, as it stands, top of the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and it just shows the work that everybody's doing throughout the football club, from all the coaches at a younger age and pushing the boys through from 16, 17, 18 up to the 23s. And like I say, I think the most important thing is that David installs what being an Evertonian is all about in the players, and he knows what it's all about. The chairman knows it better than anybody. He's been here for years and years. He's seen the good and the bad, and he knows what it's all about. So these players will come through and they'll make careers. Hopefully it will be for Everton. If it's not for Everton, you want to give them the best grounding possible to go on and have a successful career wherever that may be.
Absolutely. Well, they're having a successful evening so far, that's for sure. 54 minutes on the clock at a bitterly cold Goodison Park. Chance though for Manchester City. Taylor Richards has it on the edge of the penalty area. Squares it to the right-hand side to Frimpong, but he's closed down by James McCarthy. Now then, Basala Sambo against Cameron Humphreys, and Cameron Humphreys defends that quite well.
He does, done very well there. Humphreys, composed defending.
Just haven't imposed ourselves in the same way that we did in the first half yet, have we?
Well, it's not dissimilar to the end of the first half, whereby they pushed us back, as you would expect. They've got to do something to change the course of the game. But this is where these moments now. How good are we on the counter attack? How's our quality?
Decent ball
That's
in.
not
Nathan
bad.
Broadhead. Oh, he couldn't take it with him. That was a lovely move as well.
It was a terrific move, and a terrific ball in from Harry Charsley from the left-hand side there. And Nathan's first touch let him down there. A good first touch, and his second one may well have had the opportunity to find the back of the net.
Cameron Humphreys. Substitute. Taylor Bellis plays it down that right-hand side. The cross comes into the penalty area. It's a glancing header from Nabil Tuati. And I think he should have done better than to just flick it wide, Graham.
No, I think he's probably going to be very disappointed with the purchase he got on that ball. Tyus Browning just caught out a little bit. It was a couple of yards off him there, Tyus. Should have been tighter with him. But equally, the centre forward should have done better with the chance.
Bashiru finds Cameron Humphreys. Wide on this near side is Nat Ogbeta. Matondo. It's been a good battle between Matondo and Mason Holgate in this game. He's a decent player, the Welsh Under-21 international, and he's got a shot on him as well. And it had to be watched all the way by João Virginia. He's pushed it over the bar. It's a save you would expect the goalkeeper to make, Diamond, but he had to watch it all the way.
Yeah, he's got to watch it all the way.
Very smartly struck.
It was a decent strike from Matondo. Quite clearly Manchester City's best player on the park up till now. He's their danger man. As you say, João Virginia had to just watch that. We know how these modern day footballs move around.
Corner kick from Manchester City. And Everton not quite having things their own way in this second period. Corner kick, left-hand side. Taylor Richards will outswing it with his left foot. Everybody back for Everton. He drills it in. Headed away by Morgan Feeney. Now, Kieran Dowell needs to just give the back forward a little bit of respite and retain the football. That's a foul. Taylor Richards ploughs into Kieran Dowell. And Mr. Middleton agrees with me, and it's a free kick for Everton, and that'll do. We just need to take the sting out of things.
Well, we've got to take the sting out of the game at this moment in time, because Manchester City are in the ascendancy. And as I mentioned, every single time they plough forward, we've just got to show a bit of calmness and a bit of composure when we get the ball back, retain possession, 2 or 3 passes, and we may well find ourselves in a positive situation.
Tyus Browning taking his time over the free kick, and eventually he leaves it for João Virginia. And he's overhit 1 or 2 tonight, João Virginia, but that hangs nicely in the air towards Adina, and headed away by Humphreys, headed back powerfully by Mason Holgate, picked up by Bashiru. Here's Gomez. Ogbeta, good challenge by Kieran Dowell, but Ogbeta gets the look of the deflection and brings it away for Manchester City. Finds Matondo. Decent tempo, there's no quarter asked nor given out there, Diamond.
No, two good sides, really. Plenty of individual talent on view, but two sides that are well drilled as well.
It was like that against Arsenal. It was a really good, it was a good 0-0 at Arsenal on Monday night down at Boreham Wood. And by the way, one of the most baffling non-penalty decisions I've ever seen, and David Unsworth agreed with me after the game in that match against Arsenal. Basala Sambu was just ploughed down inside the penalty area. Wasn't even close, wasn't up for discussion. And David Unsworth was seething that the referee didn't give a penalty. It was quite baffling. Gather Manchester City are about to make another change. Oh, Harry Charsley, that's it. It's a clumsy challenge.
Yeah, it's clumsy from Harry. I mean, sometimes you just have to accept as a defender that you can't win the ball. It's just a case of just holding your ground and staying tight on the attacking player. But that was always going to be given one way, and that was for a foul to the City player.
Benjamin Garr, I understand, is the man that's about to be withdrawn for Manchester City. Here's Ogbetter on this near side. They are just shading it, Manchester City, but super play by Dennis Adina and good midfield play by Dennis Adina. And he's away as well, and he's very unlucky to run out of space there. Did everything right there.
Yeah, he was
just very
strong.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, as I said, he's looked strong all night, Dennis. The ball just ran out and he was going through there. As you're right, Daz, it's Garr just going off there. Paveda comes on.
Giancarlo Paveda, who born in London, 18 years of age, and he's spent some time at the Barcelona Academy, so you'd expect him to have a little bit of bouting grain, wouldn't you?
Well, if he's a Londoner, he's got every chance, hasn't he?
yeah. More the Barcelona angle I was thinking,
yeah,
but I know where
probably,
you're coming from. Maybe it's because he's a Londoner. Benjamin Garr, the lad who's gone off, his grandfather Oscar played for Argentina in the 1986 World Cup.
Really?
What about that? There's a good pedigree for you. Here's Matondo again. Oh, James McCarthy mistimed the tackle and a little bit of rustiness, Diamond.
Yeah, as I said in the first half, there's something you're going to expect from James. You can't just be out that long and have that serious an injury and not be a little bit rusty. But it's not about that. It's not about the performance level. It's about him getting minutes under his belt. The performance we know will come because he's a quality player. Just got to feel his way back into playing regular football again.
It's a free kick for Manchester City. More danger for Everton from this left-hand side. Taylor Richards, England under-17 international, will take it with his left foot. Once again, everybody is back for Everton. In it comes, it's another poor delivery. Oh, and James McCarthy. Now, that was a clever back pass, wasn't it, considering he's been out for a long time?
Chance, though, here. Chance.
Kieran Dowell.
Get your head up, Kieran.
Kieran Dowell slides it wide to Dennis Adina. Good early ball from Dennis Adina. Takes a deflection, reaches Kieran Dowell. Rolls it back to Harry Charsley. Steadies himself on his left foot. Goes for goal, always rising. Worth a pop.
Yeah, optimistic from Harry Charsley, but there's a man who can score a goal, Harry Charsley.
Oh, he's got a goal in him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a goal in him. Not necessarily from left back, though, but he's got the pedigree to score goals. Just wondering if Kieran Dowell made the right option there, going right instead of left.
Or better. Mason Holgate will pick that up for Everton. Back to Tyus Browning. Powers forward, Tyus Browning. Solidly built defender, isn't he? Finds Kieran Dowell. Back to Tyus Browning again. Right-hand side of the penalty area. Good low ball into the box, but there's nobody there.
Real strong, powerful run from Tyus Browning. Picked the ball up 20 yards inside his own half and drove forward. Eventually ended up pulling it back from the byline. Very unfortunate not to pick out a royal blue shirt.
Matondo. Back to Ogbetter. Here's Bellis. 63 minutes on the clock. Everton 1, Manchester City 0, but game really in the balance now. Manchester City just turning the screw a little bit. Poveda tried to dance his way through, but he's stopped in his tracks. James McCarthy finds Nathan Broadhead, and James McCarthy has edged past the hour mark, which is encouraging. Here's Basala Sambu, but he's offside.
Yeah, he's unlucky there, Basala Sambu, because Nathan Broadhead's got the ball in. He was coming short, and then he spun, and Nathan just delayed his pass again. And he just ran a yard offside. If he played it when he'd spun initially, he was in.
Taylor Bellis. Frimpong, back to Bellis again. Cameron Humphreys in plenty of space for Manchester City. Pushes it past Kieran Dowell, then slides it wide. It's a great first-time ball. Well defended again by Everton, and a chance for Dennis Adina. A little bit of green grass in front of him, but he plays it back to Benny Beningame, who's been quiet, Benny, hasn't he, in the opening 20 minutes or so of the second half.
Yeah, he's... You've got to remember as well, young Benny's been out for a fair while as well.
Yep. This is nice play from Everton. Nathan Broadhead, infield to Kieran Dowell. Back to Broadhead again. Here is Benny Beningame. Finds Morgan Feeney. He takes the safety option, and why not? And rolls it back to João Virginia, who looks down this right-hand side towards Mason Holgate. Headed away by Ogbeta, but picked up by Dennis Adina, and forward to Holgate. Kieran Dowell back to James McCarthy. Benny Beningame, little pass around the corner to Broadhead, but that's sloppy from Nathan Broadhead. Surrenders possession that James McCarthy has to win back, and Kieran Dowell shows nice footwork, so does James McCarthy. Better. Adina in, forward to Holgate. Holgate taking on Bashiru, but runs out of space, gets a little nudge into the advertising hordes, and Manchester City can bring it away. There's Matondo, but James McCarthy's there again, hassling away.
Yeah, good play from James McCarthy there. He won a couple of balls in the middle of the park there, used it well as well, and then got back against the dangerous Matonda. Real battling qualities from him. I'm sure he's feeling it a little bit now, as he's probably Benny Beningame. And in fact, there's actually some movement on our bench. It's about that time, 66 minutes.
Poveda. I'll have that, says Nathan Broadhead. Now, first chance in the second half really for Nathan to run at the Manchester City defence, and he's carried it a long way. Then he rolls it back. Kieran Dowell sort of like a lazy sort of flick forward, wasn't it?
Too lazy from Kieran there, really. It was a good opportunity for him.
Better word.
Yeah.
Harry Charsley, that's more direct from Harry Charsley. Here's Kieran Dowell again. That wonderful left foot of his. Poveda doing the covering for Manchester City. Charsley. A bit of a cul-de-sac down there, and he runs into it, and Manchester City can bring the ball away. Here's Ogbeta. Dennis Adina chasing back and just slides in. And
good work from Dennis again. Real worked his socks off tonight.
Uses his body well, doesn't he?
Yep.
Charsley. Back to Morgan Feeney. Forward to Broadhead. Heavy chest control. Frimpong, but Broadhead scrapping back. Real determination amongst the boys, isn't there, Graham?
Yeah, there's a good spirit in the camp.
Great spirit. Well won by James McCarthy. Quite apart from the fact that he's getting 90 minutes, he's played well, James McCarthy.
No, he's done very, very well. As I say, it's not the most important thing wasn't necessarily his level of performance, because, as I said, that will come. And it was about getting him some minutes under his belt, and he's played a little bit longer than I thought he was going to play. Yeah. We're on to the 68-minute mark now.
Bashiru, across comes McCarthy with a strong challenge. Bashiru brings it away though for Manchester City. He's carried the ball a long way. He's got Taylor Richards in support. He plays it wise to Poveda on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Poveda brings it in field, and Matondo thankfully gets underneath the shot and scoops it high over the crossbar. And David Unsworth is about to make his first change of the evening, and it is Basala Sambu to make way
Basala Sambu to be replaced by number 15, Gordon.
Well, I think he's done all right for himself tonight. Basala Sambu. He deserves a rest in some respects. But also as a centre forward, you run your socks off, you work hard, and you think to yourself, why are you taking me off with 20 minutes to go, 15, 20 minutes to go? It's because the game will naturally give us chances in those times. That's when you want to score your goals. So you do all that work for somebody else to get the benefit.
Well, let's hope Anthony Gordon can benefit from the hard work that Basala Sambu's put in tonight. Young man with a big future. Anthony Gordon came on as a substitute when we played Limassol in the Europa League season before last.
He's definitely a talented boy, is Anthony Gordon.
Build-wise and movement-wise, he reminds me a lot of Francis Jeffers.
He's about a foot taller than Franny.
Yeah.
Probably far more sensible as well.
Paveda, good skill, good football. Edge of the penalty area, Bashiru runs into Benny Beningame. And then Benny Beningame wins a throw-in, does he? No, concedes a throw-in down by the corner flag on the right-hand side. We've got 20 minutes to go here at Goodison Park. Premier League 2 football action at Goodison on a Saturday evening. Live on YouTube with myself, Darren Griffiths and Graham Stewart alongside me. And so far so good. Everton still leading by that early goal from Basala Sambu from the penalty spot. The Toffees 1, Manchester City 0. And we're all hoping for a Everton Manchester double, aren't we? Beat City tonight and beat Manchester United tomorrow.
Up against Big Rom tomorrow, Daz.
It is Big Rom at the moment as well, isn't it?
He's looking big, isn't he? But we know he's a threat.
Absolutely.
He had a terrific goal scoring record with us. I'm sure he will with Manchester United, but let's just make sure we keep him quiet tomorrow. Done well for us, didn't he?
Oh, he did, undoubtedly. Terrifically well. What a good signing he was. Remember, people balked a little bit at the £28 million.
I was going to say, do you know what? I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Well, it's the same with Jordan Pickford. People raised eyebrows when we bought Jordan for 25, 30 million pounds, whatever it comes to in the end of it all. But then that lot across the road go and spend 66 million pound on a goalkeeper. Well, he's not a patch on Jordan in my book. So all of a sudden we're sat with a 75 million pound goalkeeper minimum on our hands. So it's good business. I'll credit the board.
Absolutely.
Romelu Lukaku, 28 million pounds, sold for 80 odd, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's not a bad profit, is it?
Jordan Pickford, 30 million for a national treasure. Holgate infield to Dennis Adinarin. Back to James McCarthy. Adinarin to Benny Beningame. James McCarthy again. Broadhead. This is better from Everton. Good football retention. Here's Broadhead. Back to Adinarin. Benny Beningame. Is there a tangible end product from this promising move? Benny Beningame has it. Rolls it wide to Harry Charsley. Infield to Kieran Dowell. Here's Anthony Gordon.
As I say, it's like terrific. I mean, we've had 20, 22, 23 passes here, and it's great. Good ball retention. The clock's ticking down. There's somebody, when they eventually get it wide, for argument's sake, has somebody got that little bit of animal cunning to do a little piece of magic, pick out a run, pick out a slide rule pass, and just give us that second goal that makes our lives far more easier.
Here's Beningame to Kieran Dowell. Wide it goes to Harry Charsley. Inside the penalty area now, crossed into the box, headed away. Dennis Adinarin was waiting. He'll pick it up and flick it back to James McCarthy onto his left foot. Goes for goal, James McCarthy.
Nothing wrong with that. Shot on target.
Yep, straight at the goalkeeper. Comfortable save for Curtis Anderson. But a nice passage of football from the Toffees. He'll have enjoyed watching that, Unzi, won't he? Himself and John Ebrell and Franny and Alan Kelly.
Yeah, but
they walk the ball about so.
But they all work hard every day of the week, don't they? Training, you know. I'm sure he enjoys it when he gets his senior players back in the squad, but I'm sure he enjoys the fact that he's working with younger players as well and developing them. And when you see it coming together on a match night, it's a bonus for you.
Here's Matondo. Forced away from goal from Mason Holgate. Great challenge from Mason Holgate.
Here we go.
Good distribution as well to Kieran Dowell. Kieran Dowell runs into Tom Dele Bashiru. And Bashiru brings it away for Manchester City and pies the diminutive figure of the substitute, Giancarlo Poveda. Good tracking back though by Anthony Gordon. Poveda uses Frimpong. Back to Taylor Bellis. Now it's with Humphreys. Certainly had to put a shift in to protect this single goal advantage of Everton tonight. Claudio Gomez back to Humphreys again. 74 minutes on the clock. Anthony Gordon nips in and intercepts it now. This is promising. 3-on-3 for Everton. Gordon's in a very wide position. Frimpong gets back goal side. Anthony Gordon slows himself down and then brings the ball across the middle of the park. Gets his heels clipped. Frimpong will protest, but Mr. Middleton is adamant it's a free kick for Everton in Kieran Dowell territory.
Yeah, well, he was very clever there, Anthony Gordon. He was just slowed the play down, then just stepped inside and just at the vital moment just got his body across the defender and bought the foul. And he's given, as you mentioned, Darren, Kieran Dowell 25 yards out, slightly on the angle, a great opportunity to test the goalkeeper.
Now then, 75 minutes on the clock. Kieran Dowell or Nathan Broadhead at the Gladys Street end. It's Broadhead, it's over the wall, and it wasn't far away. I thought that was in from here. It wasn't far away from Nathan Broadhead. He struck it well, he got it up and over, and from where we're sitting, Graham, I thought that was in.
Well, I was just waiting for the net to bulge because the goalkeeper hadn't moved, and normally that's a sign that he's absolutely nowhere near it, which he wasn't. Unfortunately for Nathan Broadhead and us, it was just about wide, I think.
Well, it's the last throw of the dice for Manchester City. Number 15, Felix Namacha, is on to replace number 10, Taylor Richards.
Now, there's a little bit of good news from the lads on the right-hand side of me there, Daz. Glenn Hoddle is responding well to treatment.
That's good.
That's
excellent
good news to hear from the hospital there.
Excellent news. Let's hope it was just a one-off. Oh, Nathan Broadhead slips on the ball. Anthony Gordon, though, he's sure he's not afraid to put a shift in, the young man. And he uses it well, slides it to Tyus Browning.
Well, that's one thing that's typical from one of David Unsworth's sides. He'll forgive you anything, but he won't forgive you if you don't put a shift in and work hard. And it's a feature of the play tonight. You know, City have had some decent spells, but to a man, we put some hard work in.
Now then, space on the right-hand side for Mason Holgate. Takes the ball in field himself. Inside the penalty area, still going Mason Holgate. It was a decent run. You could see what he was trying to do, but he was stopped in his tracks eventually by Cameron Humphreys, and it'll be a throw-in for Everton down by the corner flag.
Well, dare I say it, Darren, but we're finishing this game stronger.
Yep.
Certainly these last 10 or so minutes, we've come on very strong. You would think it's getting to the point in a game on 77 minutes now where City have got to start taking some chances. They've got to commit some bodies forward. That's going to leave gaps open at the back. Have we got the quality to secure the win and score the second goal?
Feeney, Dowell, back to Benny Beningame. Here's James McCarthy, who looks like he's going to do the 90, Diamond.
Yeah, every credit to him.
He probably said to Unzi, I'll let you know if and when I want to come off. Maybe if we get the second goal. Benny Beningame. Nice ball to Kieran Dowell. Good movement by Kieran Dowell as well. He's got a little bit of space to operate in. Anthony Gordon, edge of the penalty area. Can somebody pull the trigger and test the goalkeeper? Anthony Gordon goes for goal. Worth an effort, but it curls wide. But at least it's Everton having the attempt on goal, Diamond.
Well, absolutely. Whilst we're in Manchester City's final third, they're not worrying our goal, and the clock is ticking down. Just going back to James McCarthy as well there, Darren, sometimes what you do find, you feel really, really leggy for your first 45 minutes. Then all of a sudden you get your second wind. And it's noticeable that James in terms of performance level, has got better as the game's gone on.
Yeah.
So perhaps that's been the situation for him. He probably feels better now than he did at the start of the game.
Little important foot in by Benibiningame. Finds Anthony Gordon, but it's a casual prod forward from Anthony Gordon, and Bashiru picks it up for Manchester City. Humphreys. Ogbeta. Matondo takes it in field away from Mason Holgate, gets the slightest touch, and Mason Holgate is off, Graham. It's a second yellow, and Mason Holgate sees red with 12 minutes to go. And I thought that was a little bit harsh.
Yeah, it wasn't a dreadful challenge or anything, mistimed maybe, but the referee didn't waste any time in running over and brandishing the yellow and then the red.
Well, that will need some readjustment now from David Unsworth's side. It looks like Dennis Adinran is going to fill in at right back diamond.
Yeah, well, I'm just there's again movement on the bench now, so it'd be interesting to see what David decides to do.
Kyle John played at right back against Arsenal on Monday night, and I thought that was harsh. I really did. Don't think that merited it. I don't think that merited the yellow card that led to a red.
Well, let's hope it doesn't make a significant difference to the result of this game because of the referee's decision there. Let's just see how Dennis does at right back for the next few minutes.
It's like Anthony Gordon's gone into midfield, Graham, and Nathan Broadhead, who's probably the quickest in the team, is going to plough the lone furrow as a centre forward.
Yeah, well, needs must.
Frimpong plays it back to Bellis. 10-man Everton have 10 minutes to hang on at Goodison Park, leading by 1-0. Here's Poveda. Infield to Frimpong. Chip towards the back stick where Matondo's waiting. Kieran Dowell goes in for Everton, and the makeshift right back Dennis Adinran did a decent job there. Just seen a replay of the incident.
Yeah, I've just seen a replay of the incident. It's soft. It's not a wild challenge. I mean, Matonda's cut inside Mason Holgate and he might have clipped his leg, but no more than that.
No.
Very, very harsh second yellow card for me.
Kyle John's about to come on for Everton. And the temperature's dropped a little bit more now, hasn't it? It's cold here at Goodison Park. But the current scoreline and the current state of affairs with regard to the Premier League 2 table is certainly warming us up, because the Toffees are top of the tree as it stands.
Yeah.
A draw would be enough, but it's 3 points at the moment.
Well, it's going to be another a real test in 9 minutes or so, plus any injury time. The City are going to plough forward now with the extra man on board.
Well done, Anthony Gordon. He's done his defensive work really well, hasn't he?
Terrific.
He's won a throw in as well.
It's vital to do that, especially when you're down to 10 men. You've got to, you know, if you can work hard and win the ball back and nick a foul here, there, and everywhere, or a throw on. We just got to run the clock down now. Got to be professional in everything we do.
Anthony Gordon's coming off, which is a shame.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised about that. You know, it's difficult. I mean, that's what happens when a man gets sent off. You've got to make a tactical change for the good of the side. And unfortunately, Anthony is the fall guy. I mean, he maybe could have taken Nathan Broadhead off and left Anthony Gordon up top on his own. But
well, he's been on the pitch 13 minutes, Anthony Gordon. He'll be bitterly disappointed to be withdrawn. But as you say, needs will as needs must. We needed a right back on. And Unzi's gone for experience to see the game out, and you can't blame him for that. Kyle John is on at right back. Very, very promising young man. Kieran Dowell is the furthest man forward now for Everton. It's all about working hard and seeing this out now, Graham.
This is it. You've just got you've got the 4 at the back, 4 across midfield, and you've got to keep your shape and concentrate.
It's a great turn that by Frimpong. Harry Charsley does well to get goal side again, but Frimpong's got the momentum, still got the ball as well, but he delays and delays and delays. Shots blocked and it's cleared by Kyle John. Miscontrolled by
take that, take
Taylor
your time,
Bellis.
take your time, boys.
7 minutes to go. Throw in for Everton on the halfway line. Seems a long time ago. Well, it was 80 minutes ago that Everton took the lead. And the referee, Mr. Middleton, is just saying to Harry Charsley, come on, let's get on with it. It'll all be added on at the end. Well, any win against Manchester City is a good win, but particularly when you've, albeit 10 minutes, played with 10 men. Nice turn by Nathan Broadhead. James McCarthy. James McCarthy will be absolutely crucial out there now.
Well, he will. I mean, you know, especially you've got a first-team player and international. Use all his experience to get people in and around him. He's more than ever, he's got to make sure that the lads are in the right shape, doing professional things.
That clock's going slowly now, isn't it? It's always the way. When you're a goal up, the man down, and there's 6 minutes to go, the ticking of the clock takes an eternity. Here's Poveda. He's a lively little chap, isn't he? Harry Charsley stops him on that occasion, but here come Manchester City again, and they find pockets of space in these closing stages, that's for sure. And Mutondo is a player that you do not want to give a pocket of space to. Nemecha. Bashiru just threads it through to Poveda. Cross comes into the penalty area. Cleared by the reliable Tyus Browning.
Nice backs to the wall stuff.
Mutondo again. Felix Nemecha tries to play a 1-2 with Poveda. Mutondo's closed down by Kyle John, does well though, and then picks out Tuatsi. Tuatsi back to Nemecha. Nemecha goes for goal and curls it, and João Virginia flings himself to his left, but I think he had his angles covered.
I think he did, and we'll take that.
Yeah, all day long.
You know, you're down to 10 men, and your back's against the ball, working your socks off to try and retain your lead. Somebody decides to pull the trigger from 25 yards. I think we have to accept that.
A pretty tepid effort as well, wasn't it?
It was.
That coffee still can't be warm, surely, from half-time. Can't be.
You just look after yourself, Dad. It's not as cold as your bottle of water that you brought up. Are you trying to kid?
Goal kick from João Virginia. 4.5 minutes to go. Everton 1, Manchester City 0. For the level of performance in the first half and the sheer endeavour of the second, the Young Blues do deserve all 3 points, and we are closing in on them. Here goes Tyus Browning, thundering forward, rolls it wide to Kyle John, who couldn't adjust himself. And it's a throw in from Manchester City.
Okay, well, that's all right though. He's, you know, he couldn't get control of the ball, but we're into the 86th minute. The ball's up the far end. It's all about running that clock down.
Here's Bellis for Manchester City, desperate for an equaliser. Are the visitors. Forward comes to Frimpong, flicked wide to Poveda, back to Frimpong again. Benny Biringami goes across to snuff out the danger. It's got to stand strong, it's down by the corner flag. Frimpong runs into
Got to say it, the team spirit stands out. Real good team spirit, real good work ethic, you know, to help each other out. Three Everton players around Frimpong there to work hard to win the ball back. Brilliant.
Here's Humphreys for Manchester City. It really is all hands on deck for David Unsworth's side now, protecting this single goal lead. Everton 1, Manchester City 0. Here's a chance for Ogbeta inside the penalty area. He's trying to go by himself, and a good challenge by Morgan Feeney.
I'm just looking at Morgan there. I hope he hasn't twisted his ankle. I thought he twisted his ankle there. It was a great challenge. I mean, it was a goal-saving challenge from the captain, Morgan Feeney, and he's felt it. Whether the lads followed through and caught him on the shin bone, I don't know. But Morgan's limping away there, but he's up and he's going to defend.
Well, he leads by example. He's still one of the youngest in the squad, is Morgan Feeney, but he leads by example. Manchester City play the short corner. Nemecha rolls it in low. It's cleared by Harry Charsley. We'll take that all day.
Thank you very much.
All day long. Frimpong for Manchester City. 2 and a bit minutes to go. Poveda, the young substitute. Glad he wasn't on from the start, by the way, because he's looked really lively, and Tyus Browning's clearance is charged down by Tuatsi. And that'll be a throw-in for Everton on this near side. 88 minutes on the clock at Goodison Park.
Yeah, little Paveda is he's a little bit of a David Silva stroke Bernardo Silva. He's what you'd say is a typical Manchester City player.
Dennis Adinian has to win 2 headers, but knocks the second one out of play. Better takes the throw in quickly. Back it goes to Humphreys. Here's Taylor Bellis, one of the Manchester City substitutes. Back it goes to Humphreys inside the centre circle. Now wide on this left-hand side to Rabbi Matondo. Running at Dennis Adinian, who stands his ground, and Matondo tries a little bit of footwork trickery. It doesn't come off because Adinian sticks to him like a limpet. Here's the diminutive figure of Frimpong. Wide it goes to Paveda, and again he's causing trouble on that far side. We can't touch him. Chips it into the penalty area. Kyle John's got to deal with it. Doesn't do so. Still inside the penalty area. Nemecha can't find the space to shoot. Clips it into the middle again. And Nemecha, not for the second time, has completely squandered Manchester City's possession. And we are in the 90th minute, Diamond.
Yeah, well, it was wasteful from him. Especially when you're into the 90th minute. Poor from Manchester City player there.
There's been a sending off. There's been 5 substitutes, so there'll be at least a couple of minutes of added time. John Ebrell and David Unsworth are barking out instructions on the edge of the technical area. They know that as things stand, we are 2 points clear at the top of the table. Still a long way to go, but nothing better than looking at a league table and seeing Everton right at the top.
I thought you were going to break into song then, guys.
I will do if we win this. Throwing for Everton on the far side. All about the 4th official. 4 minutes of added time.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, I'll be honest with you. But this is all about, you know, old school football. Throw it down the line, try and get another throw on, get in the corner, kill time, run the game down, everything. Gamesmanship, the lot. Throw it all in there.
Absolutely. Nathan Broadhead's penalised. There'll be a free kick for Manchester City. They've taken it quickly. There's an obvious urgency about the visitors now. Better to Matondo. Good first touch and takes on Kyle John. Kyle John trying to get goal side. Good foot in by James McCarthy. Beavering away in stoppage time, James McCarthy. He's confounded you and I, hasn't he?
Well, I've been outstanding that he stayed the 90 minutes. He's a fit boy anyway, Jamesy, we know that, but to play 90 minutes has been outstanding.
Long ball forward towards the lone striker, Kieran Dowell. He can't get ahead to it, and David Unsworth is saying to João Virginia, play the ball wide, hit the channels, not the forward men. Another substitute about to come on for Everton, Shane Lavery. Through ball towards Taylor Bellis, who looks like he's gone as a makeshift centre forward.
Yeah, looks like it. Well, they might as well take the chance. They might as well throw everybody up top and try and get something out of it. But João Virginia was excellent there. Read the script as the through ball came through and was there to the edge of his box to.
Oh goodness me! What's he done there? He's completely sliced that goal kick. Not nowhere near the halfway line. Nathan Broadhead, Benny Beningame, and Harry Charsley combine and fine touch, and it'll be a substitution for Everton. Kieran Dowell making
Shane
way.
Lavery coming on, is it?
Shane Lavery is on.
Right, Shane, sprint for the next 2.5 minutes constantly.
That's going to go up. No, it's not. Matondo keeps it in on this near side. Matondo, he's the danger man. He's the danger man. Matondo still going, goes for goal, and smothered by the goalkeeper. And I'm not sure that was the right decision, but I'll take it because there was plenty of players inside the penalty area in black shirts.
Yeah, he's been outstanding for them tonight.
He has.
Very, very good player.
Welsh international.
Good to see as well. I mean, good to see a winger being direct and driving at fullbacks and taking them on.
Yep. Scouser as well. Born in Liverpool, raised in Cardiff. Well, we've seen now 2.5 minutes of added time. If you had to pick a man of the match, Graham, who would you go for?
Do you know what I'm going to go for? I'm going to go for Dennis, you know.
Yeah.
Dennis, a Durnering. I mean, As I say, Matonda's been the best player on the pitch for Manchester City. 100% he's been the danger man throughout the game. And Dennis has put a right good shift in there, and it's an ugly thing to have to do.
Good play,
work
Shane
hard and
Lavery.
break things up, and he's protected his full back all the way through the game, and I just think he deserves it on his work rate alone.
Benny Beningame will hit the corner. Shane Lavery's in support, Pervader's chasing back, but Benny Beningame's going to hit the corner.
Well done, Benny.
And what a silly, silly challenge by
I thought it was an excellent challenge.
And that will eat up a few more seconds. Shane Lavery hasn't yet, I don't even think he's been on the bench in the Premier League for Everton, but he's a full international with Northern Ireland. And I can't see this ball being flung into the penalty area, can you?
Definitely not.
Given there's nobody there. And this should see us through. This should really see us through.
Tap it to Shane Lavery and just run for the corner flag.
Yeah,
that's it. Protect
that's exactly what he's done.
There we go. Good lad.
They say these games are all about development.
Well
There's
done,
the
boys.
final whistle. Blow by Mr. Middleton, the referee, and that's a terrific victory for Everton. And I'll tell you what a good week for the under-23s. A clean sheet and a point against Arsenal at Boreham Wood, and a clean sheet and 3 points tonight, Graham.
Yeah, terrific performance all round. It was a good game of football. I mean, the goal was very early in the game. We thought then that there might be a few more goals to see, but I think David Unsworth's going to be ecstatic with the players. They've shown everything. They've shown good quality football at times, great teamwork, great work ethic, desire, and professionalism as well. When you're down to the 10 men, and you've had to really dig in, and your lungs are burning, and they showed a real desire to wear the shirt and to get 3 points as well. The bonus ball, 2 points clear at the top of the league.
The under-23 Premier League 2 table makes really pleasant reading for the Toffees as winter starts to bite. Everton are 2 points clear at the top. Thank you so much for joining us. We do hope you've enjoyed our coverage. It's finished here. Saturday night football at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Manchester City 0.